Well, it seems like the last time we had one of these, there was double the amount of us. Who would have thought we could quickly lose Gordon, Henry, and James like that? Oh yes, as someone I know very well would say. Disgraceful! And not even a single one of them to finish off that statement. Considering there was 8 of us not too long ago, the fact we only have 4 of us left is a terrible, terrible thing. We lose all 3 of them like that, and then we lose Toby. Oh, Toby. I wish we knew what he was up to. Oh, don't we all, Edward? I'm sure if we did, we wouldn't even be needing to have this conversation in the first place. I agree, Scotsman. But without Mr. Conductor, we don't really know what to do. Not so fast, Thomas. I think I have someone you've all been waiting for. Mr. Conductor! Oh yes, hello, engines. I'm not in my perfect shape like I was a little bit ago. But the fact you're here is what's important, Mr. Conductor. And frankly, we need you at this time. Have you heard what's happened to Gordon, James, and Henry? Bertie informed me on the way to the sheds today. Perfect timing for me to come back. Sure is. Have you seen Toby lately? Unfortunately, I have not. But from what I've heard, he's been up to no good. No good is right. I don't even know where to begin with Toby. Well, Scotsman, we can begin with this. I think he's a big reason why 3 engines are missing, and why Mr. Conductor is not in 100% shape. By the way, how's Garrett Bernard doing? We both face similar injuries, but the difference is Mavis can do what he's doing. Not even you and Thomas can do what I'm doing. I need to be here at the time for the railway. And we sure are glad you're here. We didn't even know really where to begin. Well, we can begin with this. Scotsman, of course you would have no problem taking over the express while Gordon is away, so you can do that. As for James and Henry's jobs, Edward, you probably can start doing some work on that. And that new engine Gator, I'm sure he could be doing some work too. Oh yes, Gator, I forgot about him. I'm sure he'd be willing to do some work, especially considering what's been going on with the island lately. Yeah, Gator seems like a reliable engine who's willing to work. Well, that's settled. Business as usual until Gordon, James, and Henry are back in good shape. And of course Garrett Bernard and Mr. Conductor. Yes indeed, Bertie. Thomas, I came up with an idea that I think you could do. We need to hunt down Toby. Do you think you could be the engine in charge of hunting down Toby for us? Oh, Scotsman, I'm so glad you asked that. Of course, I'd be willing to do that. It's my job to help this railway run. And if that unfortunately means stopping my former friend, then I'm willing to do it. Well, good. Then it's settled. You all know what you're supposed to be doing. Now it's time for the 4 of you to get back to work. Of course, Mr. Conductor. Oh, good. They're all gone. I can finally No, Bertie, I can't. I received this railway. Before I even get it, one of the engines before is already missing. Now I get it. I'm injured. The person in charge of the quarry and construction is injured. Now 3 of the engines on this island have already been in accidents while I'm away. I just don't know what to do. Oh, Mr. Conductor, there's nothing to worry about. Thomas is a reliable engine. Percy is a reliable engine. Edward, the Flying Scotsman, you have 4 of the best engines on this railway. Heck, any railway. They will make sure Toby is found and justice is served. You're right, Bertie. I mean, I've even seen worse. I've seen a diesel try to come here and take over this railway. But Thomas helped stop them. Percy helped stop them. And that was much worse than the situation we're in. We only need to stop Toby. Correct, Mr. C. Now let's go. I can take you wherever you need to go. Oh, thank you, Bertie. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll even find Toby along the way. Hey, Elizabeth. Did you hear the news of what's been going on the island of Sodor? Have you two heard what's been going on the island lately? Well, of course, Thomas. We haven't been under a rock. Well, I figure you two did, but It hasn't been good. I've already lost Gordon, James, and Henry, and of course Toby too. We have to be on our wheels, making sure that we don't get into an accident. Well, hello, Diesel, Cranky. How are you two doing? Well, Thomas, we should probably be asking you. We hear your friends keep getting into accidents. Diesel, we've already lost Gordon, James, and Henry to careless accidents. And I hear Toby's been causing some problems too. That too is correct, Cranky. And unfortunately, we just don't know what to do. I held a meeting today with Edward, Percy, and the Flying Scotsman. All we know now is we have to be careful not to get into accidents ourselves. Like I told you, Thomas, I have no clue what's going on. Just hope you stay safe. Thanks, Diesel. I wish the same to you and Cranky. However, I'm pretty sure you're not their target. Anyways, the passengers are out. I think it's time Annie, Clarabelle, and myself get going. Cinders and ashes. Not me. Diesel, Cranky, what just... I don't know. Please bring in some help. Of course, Thomas. Help will be here soon. I wonder what Toby called us here for. Oh good, you're all here. Any updates on the other engines? Well, I actually just took out Thomas before I arrived here. Good job, Hank. With Thomas gone, that means we only need to go after Edward, Percy, and the Flying Scotsman. And once those three are down, we will have everything we could want. But aren't there other... Correct, Charlie, but once that's done, it's easy from there. Trust me. Well, then what do we do in the meantime? In the meantime, I want you guys to take over the jobs of the engines who are now gone. That means Spencer doing the express, Rosie taking Thomas's coaches, Gator doing James's jobs, and Hank doing Henry's jobs. But they already have the Flying Scotsman taking the express. Oh, for now, Spencer, oh, for now. These things take time, so no need to rush them. Trust me on this. It's going to work out. In the meantime, I need to go visit the mainland. There's someone who's important, and I need to speak to him. You all know what you're supposed to do, so continue to do it. Yes, Toby. Well, as you two have probably already heard by now, Thomas is the latest victim in these accidents. We don't know who caused it yet, as Diesel was not able to identify the engine. However, what we do know is this: Thomas will be out for a while. I've already spoken with Victor, and what he tells me is this: they're running out of space. This is now their fourth engine that they have to fix. We decided that Gordon and Henry would be the first to fix, so for the meantime, we'll have to find other places to store James and Thomas. That's horrible, Edward. What should we do in the meantime? We'll just continue to do our jobs. Fortunately, I found some engines who could help. Rosie volunteered to take Annie and Clarabelle for Thomas. Gator said he could do whatever James does. And Hank said he could do whatever Henry does. We also have Spencer as a backup for the Flying Scotsman, or in case we need another train pulled. That's a good thing, Edward. And it's good to know that Spencer's willing to help as well. Oh yes, you know how Spencer is. It must be bad if he's willing to help. Anyways, I just wanted to inform you two. I want you both to continue to do your jobs. I have to wait for Mr. Conductor in the meantime. Of course, Edward. We'll see you later. Toby, we've been looking for you forever. Oh, you know, just doing some jobs here and there. I heard some engines have been in accidents lately. That's never a good thing. Mr. Conductor must be disappointed. That's correct. We've already spoken to Mr. Conductor, though, and we have plans in place. We found engines who can do the jobs of the ones who were in accidents. That's perfect. What would you like me to do? Oh, Toby, we appreciate the offer, but we know you're starting to get older. Maybe it's best you stay out of the way and just do small jobs here and there. Small jobs? For me? Edward, do you realize who you're talking to? You're calling me old. Me old? Of all things to call old, me. I mean, you're the one to talk, Edward. Edward, you are so useless to this railway that if you were to change colors and names, I'm sure not a single person would even notice it. Me do small jobs? Puh! Edward, you're the reason for these accidents, and you're the reason this railway is in much trouble as it is right now. Toby, that's horrible. I recommend you leave Knapford Station now. Good. I was about to. This place is starting to smell like a retirement home anyway. Well, looks like you two have seen better days. Yeah, Victor said there were too many of us to work on. I decided to volunteer and let the other engines go in front of me. They said Gordon and Henry were more important. I tried to argue my case, but I didn't win. Well, that's unfortunate. The good news, though, Edward was able to find some engines to do work while you guys are away. Rosie's gonna take care of Annie and Clarabelle for you. Then we have Spencer as a backup to the Flying Scotsman for the Express. Gator's going to do your jobs, James. And Hank is gonna do Henry's. Hank? That seems too familiar to me. He's kind of a dark blue, royal blue if you want to say. Correct? Some might argue that he's purple. Yeah. Anyway, I think he might have been involved with my accident. Really, Thomas? But you said you couldn't even notice who it was. Yeah, but now that Percy mentioned Hank, it started to make me think. Think about the accident, and think about Hank in general. I don't see him much on the island. Maybe ask Diesel. Yeah, Percy, go ask Diesel. See if he remembers. Well, Edward said he doesn't remember. Yeah, I know Edward said that. But this is serious, Percy. Go talk to Diesel. Tell him about Hank. Maybe that will jog his memory. Yeah, 'cause if it's Hank, there might be more engines involved than we expected. You're right. I'll go find Diesel. Hope you two get better soon. Who is it? It's Toby. I'm looking to speak to the boss. Ah, hiya, Toby. What do you need? I told you what I need. I need to speak to the boss. About what's going on the island. From what we understand, it's been going well, and he knows that. Toby, as much as he'd love to talk with you, he's too busy to talk. So instead, he had a feeling you would come here, and he had a plan. The plan is this. One of us will be coming back to the island of Sodor with you. We're going to go undercover and make sure everything is going according to plan. You don't have a problem with that, do you? Oh, of course not. I'm sure you'll be impressed with everything I've done. Good. Then let's go. Percy, what brings you over to my part of the island? Well, I was talking with another engine, and essentially this, Diesel. We want to know what happened during that day. What day, Percy? When Thomas was in the accident. Do you recall who it was? Not whatsoever. Well, could you give details about this engine? Well, it wasn't a small engine like you, Percy. And it wasn't even a small engine like Edward or James. It seemed to be a bigger engine, with a tender... and if I had to guess a color, maybe blue. Dark blue, though. It wasn't anything like Thomas or Edward. That's what we were thinking, too. We think it might be Hank. Do you think that could be who it is? I didn't get a close look, Percy, so I can't confirm or deny that. But if I had to make a guess, he'd probably be one of the first ones I'd make. Great. Thank you, Diesel. If you're right, which I think you are, then that helps us tremendously. Oh, you're welcome, Percy. I'm glad to help. Great, Diesel. We might end up needing your help for a lot of other things, though. Do you think you'll be available? Oh, sure thing, Percy. Just let me know. Rosie? Spencer? I'd like to introduce you to a friend. Diesel 261. Also goes by the name of Spam Cam, Bowler, plenty of names. Spam Cam's actually... Anyways, We came back, didn't get to talk to the boss, but I have an idea of what the boss wants. That's great, Toby, but who's this boss? Oh, he says everything's going fine, so he doesn't need to visit the island yet. But if it goes wrong, he'll come here. Well, Toby, I hate to burst your bubble, but I think Edward and Percy are starting to catch on to the problems that we've been causing. What do you mean, Spencer? Well, I saw Percy and Edward talking earlier, and from what I could hear from that conversation, they wanted to talk to Diesel to get more of an idea about what happened with Thomas. Shoot, that's not good. Well, alright, then we have to operate our next plan, that is to take down Edward. That sounds good, but we also might need to operate the plan of keep Hank away from everyone. You're right. Spencer, can you take over this? Actually, Toby, I will do this one. Maybe if a Diesel does it, they'll get suspicious of Diesel, or at least forget about Hank for a little bit. I don't care as long as someone does it, 'cause once Edward's gone, all we have left is the Flying Scotsman and Percy. That should be easy. Sounds great. Alright, everyone, back to your jobs. We have an island to conquer. Oh, good, Hank. I was hoping to find you here. Oh yes, Percy, what do you need? Well, Hank, let's be honest. It's time to skip to the chase. We know what you've done. What do you mean, Percy? Thomas, Gordon, James, Henry, we all know you played a part in what happened there. Well, Percy, you finally caught on. Unfortunately for you, you're nowhere near as quick as I am. Shoot, there's no way I can catch him now. Cranky, I don't know what seems to have happened between Thomas, James, Gordon, Henry, and Toby. It seems like it's just myself and Edward left. Can't forget about Duck. You're right. It seems like forever since Duck's been gone. But I think we're finally starting to piece together the plot. Edward! Percy, I heard what you said and you're right. It's just you, me, and the Flying Scotsman now. And I'm sure whoever it is, they're after us. Any moment, you or I could be gone. You're right. I even got Hank to admit that he was a part of the crimes. It's just any time now that we need to figure out everyone involved and how to stop them. You're right. We're finally piecing together the puzzle of who's helping to... No! Edward! Oh, don't mind me, Percy. Did you get a good look at who did it? It looked like a green Diesel. One that's not supposed to be here. Oh, very good. Very good, Percy. Percy, you're next. You need to run away and get far away from here. Get some help. Oh, Edward, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Sound the sirens, everyone. Edward needs help, and this railway needs to be saved. Mr. Conductor, I tell you, on this island there's never sheds that are big enough for me. Oh, that's a shame. Well, Scotsman, I have some unfortunate news for you. Edward was recently in an accident, and after the accident, Percy decided to leave. He said he was looking for something. So now, engines 1 through 8 are gone. That's horrible. What should we do now? Well, from the information I gathered from Edward, I'm told Hank is involved with this. We figure Toby is also involved. Well, of course he's involved. So with that in mind, we just need to find more of the engines. Scotsman, I'd like you to stop Hank. Hank? That should be easy. Once we stop him, he can tell us who Toby's working with, and from there we can fix this island. I like your thinking, Scotsman. Remember, we must stop Hank. Good job, Hank. You took down our next opponent. Oh, of course, Toby. I even heard that Percy decided to leave the island. We're finally on our way to victory. Yeah, next up's Mr. Two Tenders. I mean, why is he even on this railway? He doesn't belong. You guys are correct, but we have to watch out. Percy's gone. We didn't make sure he couldn't run on the rails, so he is still a problem for us. Correct, Toby. But once the Scotsman is gone, Mr. Conductor will have no choice but to turn to us. Not if I have anything to say about it. Come on, Hank. You're coming with me. Scotsman took Hank. Scotsman took Hank. Sound the alarms. Sound the alarms. They're on to us. Go get the boss now. We need him more than ever. Well, hello, Percy. What brings you over here? Hello, Elizabeth. The island of Sodor has been having a lot of troubles lately, and I was hoping... You were hoping Sir Topham Hatt could help you out. Oh, that doesn't surprise me, Percy, and I'm sure he would love to. Let me go find him for you. Oh, why thank you, Elizabeth. I do appreciate it. Percy, it seems like a lifetime. I would say the same, sir. And it looks like you made a smart move. Not building your cottage in front of the buffers. Oh, of course, we've seen too many problems with that. Anyway, sir, I was wondering... Oh, Percy, you don't even need to finish the question. Of course the answer is yes. While I've been away, I still have been reading up about what's going on the island of Sodor. And more importantly, I've been working on a plan. Percy, I'm glad you finally arrived. Let's go to the docks. I have a surprise waiting for you. Okay, sir. Bye, Elizabeth. Bye, Percy. What are you doing back so soon? Trouble on the railway. Hank has been taken away, and I need to speak to the boss. Toby says he needs to go to the island. Oh, straight ahead, straight ahead. Hey, boss, we need you on the railway. Of course, that Toby can't even do one simple job. I will be on my way. Wow, sir. I certainly was hoping for this, but I never expected it would actually happen. Oh, Percy, whoever said ducks couldn't swim? And what a great time to return to the island. Sir, who would have thought you and I would both return at the same time? It sure was a perfect timing for the both of us. Toby and his team thought they could get rid of engines 1 through 8, but unfortunately, I know what's going on. Well, I can tell you this much about what's been going on. Oh, my great Western friend, it's a pleasure to see you again. I never thought I'd see your wheels back on the track, but I sure am happy you're here. So am I, sir. I'm very thankful that you brought Duck back. Oh, of course, Mr. C. Lucky for you, I've been keeping an eye on this railway while I'm away, and I think I have the plan to stop them. Same with me. Right now I have the Flying Scotsman talking to Hank. Hank's an easy case, though. He's blabbing everything. We already know what Toby's doing next. Good, good. Now what do you guys want us to do? Well, Percy, Duck, and Oliver, we need you 3 to go and talk to the engines that are working with Hank and Toby. From what we understand, there's Spencer, Rosie, and of course Charlie. We need you guys to talk to them, and essentially, we need them to realize what Toby's been doing. Good plan, but let's work fast. If I know Toby, he's already questioning why Percy left the island, so we won't have much time. Good point, everyone. On to our work. Oh, Toby, Toby, what have you done? It's about time you arrived. It's been a while since I've been on this misery of an island. But I guess if we're supposed to take over it, I have to come here eventually. At least those useless diesels didn't come with you. I didn't even bother to tell them. Toby, you'd think after a while they'd realize they were just pawns in our game. Oh, you'd think so, but they're obviously not that smart. Because if they were, they'd be in business for themselves. That's correct. Anyways, where's Hank? I hear he's in trouble. Scotsman took him. We have to watch out for him. Of the engines I recruited, Hank's probably my biggest worry. I'm pretty sure anybody can manipulate him. Well, Toby, it's not like we chose the brightest and smartest engines of this railway, because if we did, these wouldn't have been the engines we chose. That's true, they're still new to this railway, or at least that's what everybody else on this railway thinks. And if they were smart, well, they wouldn't have joined us to begin with. That's correct, Toby, but unfortunately, unlike everyone else we work with, the two of us are smart, and I think we know very well that Percy's on to us. Oh, Percy's definitely on to us, but right now we have to stop the Flying Scotsman. Once we can do that, it's our railway. Oh, the Flying Scotsman. That should be easy, Toby, I can do that. In the meantime, I want you to go around this island and keep an eye out for old Percy. Of course, we'll meet up later. So do you understand what Toby was trying to do to you? Oh yes, Thomas. Now it makes sense. I'll have to inform the other engines. Good, we were hoping you'd understand. And soon enough the three of us will be back on these rails. Yes indeed, we thank you, Hank, for listening. Oh, of course, you guys. Well, I'd love to stay and chat, but I need to look for the whereabouts of Toby and the rest of his gang. I'll see you all soon. I haven't seen an engine like that before. Hank, do you know who that is? Edward, I wish I could say, but I truly have no clue. I think I know who that engine is. And if I'm right, it's no good. Years ago, I had to take this engine around the railway. He was a guest, and he was a rude one at that. Well, that's not good. Percy and the Flying Scotsman will have to keep an eye on him. Well, well, well. We're finally here. Of course, how didn't I know? You should have been Toby's surprise all along. Oh, Scotsman, if there was any engine to see through our plan, you would have been the one. But unfortunately, you're no longer in the position of power. Position of... You're wrong. I've been on this railway much longer than you. I know what's going to happen before you do. Is that the case, Mr. Two Tenders? I could easily take you down right here. And frankly, I probably should. But we have bigger plans. And yes, plans bigger than your tenders. Well, your plans will have to wait for ours. What plans could you possibly have? Engines 1 through 8 are taken out, and the only one who's still left is number 7. And number 7's not on your side. If that's what you want to think, I will let you think that. Well, one of us are gonna be wrong. And like always, it's not gonna be me. Have a good day, Scotsman. I'll be seeing you later. I'm happy you all could listen to what we had to say. Well, Percy, now that you say it, it makes so much more sense. Oh, we should have known Toby was wrong. Yeah, I guess we all were wrong a little bit. Should have known more about Toby's plans. But what matters is we all are on the same page now. Why, what's going on here? Engines, this is what we prepared for. Get Toby! Toby, I'm sorry, but we know what's going on. Time for some justice. Oh, please, you engines will never get me. Never! Help me! Wow, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Oh, of course, Toby. I am worried, though. I went to Knapford and I saw Percy, who's apparently back, along with Oliver and Duck, who's also back, and they were talking to Spencer, Charlie, Rosie, and Gator. I came and I must have surprised them, and they chased me. Gator was the one chasing me, and now you stopped him. Oh, great, Toby, that's just what we need. But now we have no choice but to stop them. It might be just the two of us, but we have the power to stop them all. You're right, and we better get working. We have no time to waste. Well, if it's just those two, they don't stand a chance. Let's spray around the island and find them. The docks are a pretty safe spot. We can just wait it out here for a bit till we decide what our next move is. Oh, you two, it's just a matter of time until you're stopped. I don't care what you do. Spend your last moments doing whatever you want. Well, we won't wait to be stopped. Come on, Toby, let's go. Well, Toby, I think our best move at this point is to go back to the other railway. Oh no, look. Duck and Oliver up ahead. It looks like there's only room for one of us on the other railway. So long, Toby. It's been a nice ride. What? Toby, it's the end of the line for you. Oh no. Well, I guess it's as they would say, all's well that ends well. Yeah, Toby's put away, Duck's back, those diesels are gone, and that strange engine is gone. Sir, you did such a great job saving this railway, a much better job than I could ever do. I can't thank you enough, and I know the engines feel the same way. Maybe it's time for you to return to this railway. My original plan was just to use Duck to get myself from the cottage back to the railway whenever I needed to. But I think you're right. I think it's time for me to return to the island of Sodor. And you know what? I have a perfect plan. I want to keep you on, Mr. Conductor. You can run the narrow-gauge railway for me. How does that sound? That sounds like a fantastic idea, sir. I'd be honored to do so. I'm happy to hear that, Mr. Conductor. Now, with that being said, we have one more thing we need to address. Flying Scotsman, how much longer do you plan on staying with this railway? Well, sir, I was originally planning on leaving now, but considering the accidents that occurred with Gordon, James, Henry, Thomas, Edward, and the fact that Toby is now gone, if you need me to stay, then I will stay. Well, if you wouldn't mind staying, I'd love for you to be here and take Gordon's express while he is not here. Well, of course, sir. I'd be honored. Well, good. That's everything currently on my agenda. Well, engines, or I should say, my green tangerines, you know what to do. Back to work. Well, sir, what should we do next? Next? Well, next, we get this railway back in tip-top shape.